A Hickok 45 here. We're going to do a little comparison of pocket pistols with the SIG P238. It is a very small pistol. There are some other pistols that are in that category and some that are close to it. So we thought we'd just give you a look at this gun, give you a little more idea where it fits and how it compares with some other popular pocket pistols that we happen to own. So maybe you get an idea whether or not it's something you'd be interested in, and of course how it operates. It is a high quality little gun, as all SIGs are. It's a single action pocket pistol, so it utilizes the thumb safety just like Big Brother 1911, and same basic manual of operation. So if you're familiar at all with the 1911, you're pretty familiar with how this gun operates. Okay, and you can see that elsewhere, but it breaks down very much the same, and it has the thumb safety operation there. Pop it down, pull the trigger. As I pointed out before, if you push that up, however, so it is different in this regard. You can load chamber around with the safety up, so that's kind of a nice feature. So that's the one big difference there, but otherwise it's your standard 1911 type operation. You have to pop the safety off before you fire it, and then you have a lighter trigger. You know, the trade-off, you have a nice trigger, you know, single action trigger, and I think they call it about a 7-pound trigger. It is generally a pretty accurate trigger to work with. You know, most people can shoot a gun better, a pistol better, if it has a single action trigger. Just like with a revolver, if you cock the hammer on a double action revolver, then it makes the trigger very light and easier to shoot, you know, precision shooting, I guess you could say. Also is a lighter trigger. So this gun is of course more of a defensive gun, a pocket gun, or it could be a holster gun, a belt gun. But you're going to pop that off, and then you're going to have a trigger that is going to be a little touchier. You know, it's not like a longer pull trigger that we're going to show you on some of the other firearms here. Like on the LCP, when you pull it and you shoot it, you have a longer pull. You have a hammer that's going to, you notice your trigger, cock it here. So you got a longer pull before anything happens. Okay, so dramatically different, and no thumb safety, because you have a long trigger pull, fairly stiff trigger pull. Okay, it works fine. A lot of people have this gun, very familiar with it. It's one reason we have it out here to compare. You know, that's one mode of operation that works. It's just basically two schools of thought. It depends on your preference. With this gun, once you're ready to fire, you know, you just have a very short pull and it fires. Okay, and that's why you have a thumb safety. All right, different operation. And I have the car out here as well. It's even a different animal, isn't it? If you've ever fired one of these or even pulled the trigger, it is striker fired, which neither of these two are, and it's kind of a combination, I guess you could say, of the LCP. You've got kind of a double action sort of pull that culminates here in a striker fire. So it's got a fair amount of pull to it, a fair amount of distance, and then you end up with a trigger pull that's fairly nice, fairly crisp, more like that. So, you know, it's just, I'm not sure what car even calls it, but it's kind of a combination of the two, and it works pretty well. It's not like a Glock. You know, it does have that double action feel, that spring. You got to travel some distance, and then it breaks pretty nicely. It's a trigger system I like. Okay, I'm very picky on triggers. I like that. I like it better than the LCP. And I like the trigger on this. There's no way not to like it. It's really just a matter of whether or not it's what you want and how you're going to carry it, you know, and how experienced you are in terms of shooting and with firearms. You know, that's the big caveat there. You know, if you have very little experience with firearms, that could be a determining factor in the type of firearm you should be carrying, or that you want to carry, you know, until you practice more or you get more training. There's just a lot of variables, and a lot of it's personal preference as well. Main thing is you want to be safe. You want something that you feel comfortable with, but you're going to be safe. Of course, no gun is any safer than the person holding it. It doesn't matter what kinds of mechanisms you have on it, all right? So get the thumb safety with this. That's a big difference. You got your 1911. You got a baby 1911, basically. Very nice sights. Some of these you don't get that with, do you? Like the LCP. The LC9 and 9mm, comes with better sights, but the little 380, looking at 380s here, you get, just that's what you get, not much of a sight there. But these are, of course, for up close and dirty, and you do get premium sights, night sights with the SIG light, as they call it. You get a stainless slide, a little bit heavier, but quite a quality piece. Let's do a little more comparison here with the, let's see what, well, I'll tell you what let's do first, though. Let's shoot this thing. Okay, let's put the correct magazine in it. SIG. Yeah, take just a couple of shots, and I'm going to put the magazine in this car just to kind of compare the triggers. All right, now again, the safety is on. I'm going to rack around in the slide, and let's just shoot the cowboy. See if I can hit him with this little gun. Let's take the safety off. Oop, see, there you go. I didn't have the safety off. I'm not accustomed to this kind of thing with a pocket gun. I've been shooting a lot of XDMs and Glocks lately and all that, so I have to remember that. Okay, very nice trigger. It should be, it's a single action trigger. All right, the car is a little different operation. Generally, you put the slide back and then you release the slide lick. That's what they recommend, and it works. All right, try to hit something with it. I haven't shot this gun in forever. Still shoots well. I like that trigger. Much longer pull, as I pointed out, but it really works. So interesting guns, interesting differences. Let's look at them in terms of size and weight here. This gun weighs, let's see, what does it weigh? I think it's supposed to weigh, with a loaded magazine, around 15 ounces. Okay, let's pop him on the scale. Let's do without magazines. This is just for comparative sake here. Okay, 12.5 without the magazine. Try that again. 12.5 ounces without the magazine. Okay. And for example, a car, which is in the same size category, not a lot of difference there. Okay. Maybe it's a little smaller. Okay. Some way you stand them up there. They're pretty similar. Yeah. So P380, if you've seen that gun, and car weight 10 1/8. Okay, so we've got a lighter gun in the car. The slide is got some weight to it in this, and even the frame, I guess, where it's alloy, is lighter or heavier perhaps than that. And just for comparative purposes, what's this little LCP weigh without a magazine? 8 5/8. Yeah, it's even lighter. So those are the decisions you have to make, and it depends on how you're going to carry them. If you need really light that you almost just don't know you have, something like this is the way you need to go, or possibly with the car, if you can handle the trigger. But if you don't mind just a little more weight, and I don't know, maybe a little more size, not much, but a little more weight, and a single action trigger, this is a really sweet gun. Let's look at thickness on some of these too, just to compare. I know a lot of people have interest in this gun, so I want to do some of my nerdy stuff with it here. Okay, all right, we got the slide set there, thickness. Okay, so for the car P380, it looks about the same. Okay, so in terms of thickness, we're looking at the same. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I would have guessed the car being a little thinner. Let's see, what about now the LCP is a little thinner. You can see a little difference there. Okay. Yeah, it's a little thinner. That's why it's lighter. Okay. You really can't get much smaller and lighter than that, I guess, than a 380 that's pretty shootable. Yeah. So there you go. Now, some of you have a PM9. Maybe you're thinking about something like this. I have it out here. It does feel large and blocky compared with these babies. See, it is thicker. Let's open this thing up. Okay, there's a PM9. Let's see how it compares with that, just to give you an idea. Wow, look at the difference. Okay, so for those of you who don't have if the PM9 is your frame of reference, there you go. It is a lot smaller than a PM9, a lot smaller in terms of thickness. And stand them up here, PM9 looks like a big Glock 20 or something, doesn't it? I was surprised. I hadn't had my PM9 out for a while, and when I brought it out, I was surprised. I thought, whoa, it's grown. Someone's been feeding it steroids. Because it seems pretty small, you know, when I'm depending on it. So that gives you an idea. So you really do have a small gun here and a quality package. There's no doubt about that. It's small. You got your little holster here, comes with it. That's pretty cool. I mean, you really don't know you have it. You know. So we're talking about a weight here. We're talking about ounces, 1 and 2 ounces. You really don't know you have that. It's a pretty handy little piece. You just have to remember that thumb safety. And I think that and the price may be the two hurdles for a lot of people. You know, it's not cheap, and you do have to want a gun that operates like a 1911. It's that simple. And people argue that on the internet, you know, day in and day out, of course, on YouTube and everywhere else. Which is better? That classic word, best. Which is best? Which is better? You know, a single action trigger or a double action trigger or a striker fired gun, all those kinds of things. It really does come down to personal preference. It just really does. And what you shoot the best, what you like the best, what fits your hand the best. That's very important. You definitely want to be safe with whatever it is. Make sure it's something you feel like you can be safe with. Kind of, it helps to know how you're going to carry it. You know, if you're going to carry this in a holster, like I have probably less problem carrying this in a holster because I'm an old 1911 guy in a lot of ways. If I'm carrying this gun in a holster, then I'm more likely to feel okay with popping that safety off like I just did. Whereas if I'm squirreling that thing out of my pocket, yeah, it's a little different, you know, in a hurry or something. But that's your decision. I just want to kind of show you some of the differences, size, weight, and just how it kind of stacks up in some different ways. I'm not going to do a lot of shooting. We just wanted to give you an idea among some of these really popular guns that are out there, and there are a lot more than these, of course, but you probably already have handled most of these, picked them up, looked at them in a shop, or you own them, so it gives you an idea where it fits. You don't get a lot smaller than this in a 380, and not a lot lighter, but just a little bit. Quality piece, you got your night sight, excellent sights. You've got stainless steel slide, alloy frame. There's a finish on there. It's supposed to be virtually indestructible, nitron, and all that. So there's nothing shabby about that gun, and it shoots really well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea, a little bit more idea of whether or not it's something you'd be interested in. And glad we could bring it to you. So you know what I'm going to say, because it's true. Life is good.